How to make a Stuart triple expansion engine run, part 20. After drilling and tapping the extra hole required for the exhaust, I soft soldered the condenser parts together. Drilling the drain tap for a 3/16 diameter pipe, followed by cleaning the brass cap and roughing up the copper tube and the base as a key for the paint. I paint the condenser using self-etch primer. Over the years in my videos, I've shown many times how to make these condenser oil traps. One of my videos is actually called How to Make a Condenser Oil Trap. This one is slightly different. I've modified the design to make it stronger. I'm fitting union nuts on the inside, and these will be soldered together with the actual adapter to the copper tubing, which makes the whole assembly very strong. This is a larger hole. It's tapping size for 3/8 by 32 threads per inch. I would use 2 imperial drill sizes below 3/8. There are many drill tapping size and clearance sizes in charts available via Google. But generally speaking, for ME threads, I just go 2 drill sizes below. And personally, I haven't had any problems. If I remember rightly, I learnt this from the writings of LBSC and model engineer many years ago. This is the arrangement for the exhaust outlet to the chimney at this side. But the inlet to the condenser is designed to use some 1/4" diameter tube and silicone rubber tubing to connect the condenser to the engine. This will allow maximum flexibility. There is also the option of silver soldering a short piece of 1/4" diameter copper tube into the fitting, which will once again allow the use of silicone rubber tubing to take the steam up the chimney. The positioning of this condenser in the boat is fairly critical. It can't be too close to the engine. Because this triple expansion engine is not self-starting, there needs to be some room to get your hand in there around the flywheel to rotate it to make it start. The time has come to solder everything together, so it's into the outer part of the workshop to use some of this stuff, Friolux paint. Usual health warning, be careful with this, it contains lead. Here you can see the principle of having a union nut on the inside. It acts like a lock nut. By the time this is soft soldered together, the outer parts will not be able to be moved at all. Even without the lock nuts being fitted, I think I've only had trouble once with a bad soldered connection, when the outer fitting came loose and became unsoldered from the copper tube. There's a bit of a technique for doing this. Try not to apply the heat directly to the part as I'm showing here. It's actually better to heat the copper tube close to where you're soldering. The heat soon travels through the copper and everything gets very hot. Here I'm using a paintbrush and some water to clean up the joints. But please be aware that the mortality rate of a paintbrush for cleaning up soldered components is very high. So don't use your best paintbrush for this job. I used the paintbrush on the inside of the tube to spread the solder and make sure it was touching every surface of the inside area. Generally I apply too much solder, and here you can see it's run out to the outside of the tube, which is just what I want it to do. When I clean up this area with the paintbrush and water, it confirms the quality of the joint. It's very important that this condenser does not leak. I didn't quench the part in water, I left it to cool naturally, and while that was happening, I drilled a 3/16 of an inch diameter hole in the drain tap. After the hole was drilled to a suitable depth, I soft soldered a piece of 3/16 of an inch copper piping, which is automotive brake piping, into the valve. I didn't use too much heat because I didn't want to destroy the paint. After doing this small job, I waited a while for the main condenser tube to cool. In exactly the same way as with the cap, I applied lots of Friolux on the inside near the edge. And in this part of the clip, I'm heating the area until everything gets hot enough to melt the stick of electrical solder like this. I've always done it this way, and I find I get very steam-tight joints. Using the electrical solder as a filler metal ensures there are no gaps anywhere. In exactly the same way as I cleaned around the edge of the cap, I'm cleaning around the edge of the base with a paintbrush dipped in water. Although the water does have a cooling effect on the metal, and you have to reheat the area to allow for the molten solder to be wiped away. Here's a top tip: do not apply the heat to the area where the paintbrush is, because the paintbrush will melt. After a while, once everything had cooled, I applied masking tape to the brass cap. I want this to stay shiny. What I'm doing here is using some etching primer, which is no good for brass anyway, but it's really good paint and sticks very well. I use it a lot, and I get it from a company called Autopaint Northern, but unfortunately they can't post it. You have to pick it up from one of their branches. I recoated the condenser after each section was drying. Finally, the entire condenser is sat on the bench in the outer part of the workshop, and this is a shot of the paint drying. That's it for now. Stay safe, stay healthy. Thanks for watching, and I hope you found it useful. Please take the time to visit my Mainsteam Models website and click on the section of the website that says Video Playlists. And by doing that, you can find other videos that you may like to watch. And by using the playlists, you can actually watch the videos back to back.